So how are you? How are you prepared? How is your condition? So your opponent, Kawajiri, Tatsuya Kawajiri, what is your impression of him?
He's a very tough opponent with lots of experience and a big name. And that's exactly why I chose to fight him. You know, I think it's a big step for me, and it's always in my life. It's always been the next guy with jiu-jitsu. It's always gets difficult, so I guess it's time for it to get difficult.
So I'm sure you've watched the video of Kawajiri's, former fights. So have you strategized how to, fight against him?
I'm not a very strategic kind of fighter, So I've always seen clips of people who I fight and stuff before a little bit, but I never put too much attention into that because nobody's fought somebody like me. So the fight is always going to be different. You can't count on things that they're going to do in one fight. They might do things differently in another fight. So for me, it's about preparing myself and letting my intuition and letting my training, the things that I've done in training, those guide me.
So my question to you is that I know that leading up to your game on the 31st, there are only a couple of days left. So are there any other training leading up to the fight day, or are there anything left for you to do in the couple of days left?
Make weight and fight. That's what's up for me.
Can you elaborate? Like, are you going to go out for dinner, or are you going to do sightseeing, or?
I always try to enjoy myself and absorb what everything's going on around me, but this is not time for sightseeing. This is time to do a job, and I came here to do a job. After my job is done, then I can have fun.
Okay.
I was in Okinawa for 2 weeks before this.
You came here?
Yeah. That was where I did my training camp, or part of my training camp, and then I just got here today. So at this point, there's nothing more to do.
So that was sort of like a measure. So the reason why you went to Okinawa was also for trying to get out of the jet lag, or to get coordinated.
Seems pretty obvious, yeah.
So I may sidetrack a little bit, but it just occurred to me your T-shirt says ice cream Kron. Is it it rhymes with cone? Ice cream cone.
Ice cream Kron.
Kron. He said that, so that sort of rhymes with cone. Is what he was asking.
That's the logo. Yeah, my brother-in-law, when I was winning all my tournaments as jiu-jitsu, as a brown belt, he was like, "Man, they gotta start calling you Ice Cream Kron, because you just stay so cool under pressure." And then at first I thought it was a joke, I didn't like it. And then he kept calling me that, and people kept calling me that. And then when I was trying to make my own logo years later, I was like, I thought I couldn't think of a logo, and then I picked this logo, so now it's been kind of stuck to me for the last long time. It's been my logo for a while now. The main reason why I picked the logo, besides the actual competitive part of training and competing, was because I use it as a metaphor, because life is always going to give you some kind of pressure, whether you're fighting or not, and I think it's important for you to stay cool when whatever kind of pressure happens, in all different types of ways. So more than actually just me fighting, I think it's a way of life, and I think it's good for anybody to, try to relate themselves to.
How was your training camp in America, and did you bring any training partners over to Japan to finish off your camp? And have you made any changes for this camp compared to the last one?
Yeah, my training camp in America went well. Always training hard, always having tough opponents to train, tough training partners. I spent some time with Gilbert and Jake up north, and then I spent some time with Nate. He came down to LA. I had some good training with Nate and with Chris Avilla. So over there I did most of my training camp. Here is just basically tuning up some training. I got Moses Baca, who's one of Gilbert's black belts and Jake's, and Juan Quesada, who's also a very tough training partner. So, you know, at this point, and I have Richard also helping me with some boxing. At this point, it's like, you know, people always say like, oh, this training camp, you know, that training camp. And really, I've been training for this since I was like a little kid, you know. So it's not like, even if I didn't train a day for this training camp, I'm still gonna go out there. I'm still gonna be able to do what I can do, win or lose. I'm still me. I'm still gonna express myself in that way. And the more training camps you go through, you know, injured or not injured, you realize that the training camp is just like it's just a little fine tuning of who you really are. You're not gonna make or break with the training camp. You know, I saw Nathan in his last fight with Conor McGregor. He barely trained for that. He was injured the whole training camp. So that didn't take away anything from him as a man. It can affect little things, but really, you're gonna go out there. The day of the fight is what matters.
We all know your strong points, jiu-jitsu, but it sounds like you've got some pretty good sparring partners. How do you see the fight going?
You know, you never know in a fight. That's why we're gonna go there and fight, you know, but I don't have really any predictions, you know. I'm gonna go out there and see what happens, you know. I think that's what a fight is all about. I can't say I'm gonna go in there and win, and I can't say I'm gonna go in there and lose, but I expect the best, but I'm ready for the worst.
One special question, because I see my friend Takamasa Watanabe sit there. Please, maybe the people knows Takamasa have a gym in their Tokyo. What is your relationship to Takamasa, and how he helps you in this camp or support him and etc.
Yeah, Taka has been part of my life since I was a little kid, and he used to steal my room when he used to visit my dad. So, you know, like 9 years old, 8 years old, since my dad has been coming to Japan, you know, Taka has always been a big help over here, and he's always been training with my dad. He's one of my dad's black belts, and I think Taka's always been very strong support, and he has a gym here. He's very successful with all of his students, and you know, very strong jiu-jitsu here in Japan when jiu-jitsu was not very big here in Japan. And you know, it's funny to see the times passing, and you know, 20 years later, he still looks the same. And now I'm the one fighting here instead of my dad. So, you know, it's almost like a movie replaying itself.